Good morning. This is the promised Smoky Paul first service video. We're going to do a few more bits as well, and what I've done is I've got the bike really ready to where we need to be to get through the obvious stuff, but just so you know where we've got to. First thing was obviously the seat and the side panels, which I've shown you before. Next thing was the side cowls on the petrol tank. And if I show you those quickly, what we have in here is a little clip at the back, little hook, and that goes onto here on the petrol tank. There's 1, 2, 3 Allen screws, if you can see those, and then at the very front there's 2 little Phillips heads, self tappers, which go onto the front radiator. Do the same both sides. That's your side panels off. Very easy, you'll see it. Now petrol tank, again quite easy. 2 8mm bolts at the back. When you lift to take it off, okay, you've got a breather which stays attached. You've got your petrol level. That is all part of the evaporation system, so that goes to the little, you'll see a little one-way valve at the back. And then you've got your fuel pump, which is your fuel feed to, you can see your fuel filter there. I've been checking that as well. And that's your fuel pump feed, so the electrical feed. So little hook at the back, you'll see it there. Undo that, flip it back. I've taken this off. You can leave it like that if you like, but I found it easier. Disconnect there, disconnect at the fuel filter, flick it off the hook, and then it just makes it easier to lift it off the frame. There you go. So that's where we are at the moment. In the full service, for the first service, the first thing it asks you to do is inspect the spark plug and the valves. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do that. We're then going to go around and do all the rest of the inspections. So we'll do air filter, water levels, wheels, brakes, everything like that. So everything it says on the inspection list, we go through and point it out. What I'll do then is we'll quickly rebuild the bike. I'll bring you back in and we'll warm the bike up and do the last thing, which will be the oil and filter. Also, if we've got time today, we're going to be fitting the hot grips, and also I've got a new O-ring chain. So that's the plan for today. Next thing I'll do is I'll undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5mm Allen bolts, and then we'll take the rocker cover off to inspect the valves. I've also put that in now. I'm just going to take the spark plug out as well. Okay, so that's what I'll do now, and then we'll get back. Okay, we've got everything ready for you. As you can see, rocker cover's off. It's got this nice little rubbery gasket, so no problems there. Happy with that. I've left it on. As you can see, it sits into the cam cover part at the end. So happy with that. What we've done is we put it to top dead center, so you can see we've got the cams are going to be, the lobes are going to be at the top, and the heel is going to be at the bottom where your shims are. So if you look on this side, we've used the 17mm socket to move to top dead center, and if you look carefully in there, you should just be able to see a little line, and that's your top dead center mark. So if you've got the little line there, that's top dead center. For those of you who don't know, the best way to do that, put your bike into 5th gear and either knock it with the back wheel if you haven't got the socket, or obviously neutral, and then just drive it round with your socket onto there. There's 2 inspection covers, make sure you don't lose those. and they've got nice little seals with them. Okay, so what we've done, we've lined it all up, we're happy with that. Cam chain tensioner looks okay, I haven't seen any problems in there. There's no slack at the back, which is what you're looking for. That looks okay. And then we've set the valve clearances, we've checked that, and the exhaust is 0.05 millimeters, so 0.127 mil, sorry, 0.05, so you can see that here, 5,100.127 mil. So there you go. So what you do now is where we've placed it, you'll see you can check that clearance by sliding the feeler gauge in between the camshaft base and the shim. So we know the exhaust valve clearances are good. So you can see that, that's lovely. And then we do the same here for the inlet. And I found the inlet and I can't find any data on this on the new 2120, but it for an overhead cam engine with a shim and arrangement with overhead cam like this, 5,003.76 mil on the inlet seems about right. And again, check that and you should see that, yeah, lovely. I have got the right inlet, it's a little tight. I found it's about 0.025, so 0.0025, but I'm happy with that. 0.005, 0.005 between friends, we won't complain about. It's okay, we can keep an eye on it. There we go. I've just put in the 0.002 for now. Show we have got clearance. There we go. It's about 0.0025. So we're happy with that. There you go. So that's it. And you can see, if I just move that around, you can see everything turning. Make sure you always turn anti-clockwise. Never turn clockwise against the engine, always turn in that anti-clockwise direction. Okay, and that's that. So what I do now is I'll put that all back together and we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, we're going to go down through the inspection list now, and we'll start at the front of the bike. First thing is what you should be doing with your first daily checks anyway. Check your tyres, let's have a look at them, check we've got no splits or nails or anything in the front tyre, looking good. Can't feel any bearing movement or anything, nothing looks horrible there, nothing seized, wheels spinning nice and freely. If you look down here, you can look down the disc, you'll be able to see there, you'll be able to see your pad wear. I can see both pads, both have hardly got any wear on at all. They're looking nice, so I'm happy with that. What we just quickly do, spin the wheel up, bang, spin the wheel up, bang, spin the wheel up, bang. So I'm happy with the front brake anyway. We go through looking at all the fixtures and fittings, can't see anything loose, can't see any leaking or anything, no leaking in the brakes, no leaking on the hoses, no leaking on the fork seals. So we're happy with that. Working our way down the bike. Switch gear, all feels fine. We check those obviously at the very end. Check your lights. Okay, now head bearings, very good way of checking head bearings. Hold the bike down, put your fingers at the back of the head, at the top bearing, break it and push it, and you'll definitely feel if there's any looseness or play there, because you'll feel it between the top cup and the frame. Feels nice, and obviously if it's moving freely and you're not capturing any cables. So we're happy with the head bearings as well, so that feels good. Brake lever, indicators, brake fluid, again no leaks. Clutch, now we did have the clutch lower nut come loose, and nearly come off. So I've changed that, if you look underneath, for a lock nut, and we've adjusted that up with a little stainless lock nut. Might be worthwhile checking that, because that did come loose. So checking that, what we do is quickly at the end as well, when we're cleaning, we put a little bit of lube in just the moving joints there, and a little bit there, just to keep everything happy and fresh. Mirrors okay, not loose. Fairing, instruments, no loose fittings. Again, have a feel. It's good when you clean the bike. It's a really good time to have a feel everything. If there's anything loose, just touching things, you know, it gives you a really good feel. Work your way down back. Battery, obviously we've been running that on a charger. I'm happy with the battery, but if you wanted to just check it while it's sitting there like that, what we can do, if you're not sure, you've had a problem with it, just quickly, if you've got access to a multimeter, put him on. Normally put him to about 20 volts there, and this is obviously not running. You should be about 12.5 volts, and there you go, at 12.8 volts. We knew that. I'm happy with that. And when it's running and charging, you should be running about 14 and a half maybe max, without lights on. With lights on, normally about 13 and a half. That's what you're looking for. That's checking your alternator output and your rectifier regulator. Okay, so we checked your battery, we're okay with that. Side stand switch, we've been lubricating that regularly. Make sure we keep that like that. Check your gear levers, check everything's tight. Again, we've been happy with that, checking all of that. Side stand and Zen stand, nicely lubricated. We've been lubricating. You can see this is getting used every day, so it's we're making sure we're keeping on top of that. I'm going to change the chain in a minute, so we won't talk about the chain. And then realistically, we're off to the shock absorber, which showing no signs of leaks. Again, we've been spraying a silicone protectorant on it again, and it looks like it's doing a damn good job. And then we move to the back tyre. We've been checking the tyre pressures, running them at 33, 36. And back tyre's looking good. Again, no plate. And I'm happy with the suspension as well. You can feel if your suspension's going. Yeah, we've got a nice damped movement on that, same front and back, and again, no movement. L plate's safe, everything else looking good, nothing loose this side. Working our way through. Back brake, pretty similar to the front brake. Again, we checked the wheels free, and if you look in the back, so if you look in the back, you can see your pads there. Okay, next thing we do is we check the spark plug, and for those who don't know, it's a CR9E NGK CR9E, and they say between 0.6 and 0.7, so we'll give that a quick check. I've put 0.686, slide it in, and it should be a sliding fit, shouldn't have to force it, and there we go, that's nice. There you go, I'm happy with that, 0.686, and that's a nice tight sliding fit. So we'll pop that in. As you can see as well, rocker cover's back on. These rocker retaining bolts, they are shouldered, so they nip up nicely onto the internal face, and you've got the rubber seal, remember, so when you're doing that up, it's not mega tight, you just tweak it up. Probably about, looking at the size of them M5, M6 sort of size bolts, about 10 foot-pound, which is what I've done them. So just a nice, nip them up and give it a nice clean. Obviously clean before you put it back together again, make sure there's no dirt inside. Okay, so we'll pop the spark plug back in now, and then we're on to the next thing. Okay, you guys have seen me adjust the chain before or take the back wheel out. This is just a quick update. What we're going to do now is we're going to change the chain. So I've pinged the clip, we'll take him off. This is just a little trick really. We're going to drop the chain there. Notice I've kept the chain there on the sprocket, just hanging at the back. What we're going to do, make life easy, change Mr. Chain, and we're putting a nice O-ring chain on. Just put your link in there for now. Keep him nice and clean. Put him in there. Oh. That's better. There we go. And then just gently wind him on. Make sure I haven't got a rag on the floor, so I'm trying to be really careful. And just keep putting him on. Don't worry about your old chain. That's going in the bin. And as you can see, we're carefully putting the new chain on. And lo and behold, we're there. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm struggling on mine. There you go. Right, let me pull that adjustment in and I'll get back to you. Sorry for ending a bit abruptly on the chain a minute ago. I thought I can't work this out. The supplier has sent me 132 link chain. I didn't notice, so I should be getting back to them and complaining. Obviously that is wrong. I think if I remember right, it's 139. So we shall just readjust this chain for now. Remember again, you adjust the chain because of the Pro Link suspension while you're sitting on the bike, so we get it roughly, probably about there now. And I'll just line that back up and tweak it all back up again and just give it a lubricate, so I'll get back to you on that. But you can see how just putting the new chain onto your split link, pulling it through, just puts your new chain on. Don't have to take the sprocket covers off and whatever, and hopefully, unlike us, if you get the right size chain sent to you, it's okay. So Mr. M&P, I shall be back to you and ask why you sent me the wrong one, because I know I ordered the right one, and I can check that on eBay. But there you go. So we just line the chain up now, lubricate it, and then we get on to the heated grips and then the oil and filter change. Thank you. Okay, we're back to almost where we started. All we've done since we switched off last time was I've put the original chain back on, adjusted and lubricated and cleaned, so that's okay now. So nicely done. We've checked a few other bits and bobs and adjusted the chain tension. I've replaced obviously all the rocker covers and the side timing covers. Just make sure, like we said, don't over tighten everything, especially your spark plug. It only needs to be tweaked in onto the compression washer. Don't over tighten. We've then checked everything in, put everything back on, petrol tank, all nice and easy, all pretty obvious. Just make sure you connect all the hoses to the right places. You've got your fuel pump feed, you've got your evaporation side, you've got your drain, and you've got your petrol tank feed for your fuel gauge. See, it's working. We've put that back in. What we've done as well is we've run a wire. This is the accessory socket. We've run a wire from there up to here, and that's going to be for our heated grips, which we're just going to put on. And it's, again, really simple. Just, you've already got this switch 12 volt accessory socket here. Just run your 12 volt wire up to another connector here in headstock, and then you've just got your simple wiring, which we're going to fit in and then change the handlebar grips. Not a problem, pretty obvious and simple how to do. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to warm the engine up now, ready to drop the oil. We'll show you the oil being dropped, filter change, and then that's everything. So let's warm the engine up then. Okay, we've warmed the engine up. You'll see there's a 17mm bolt there, which is your main drain. You can see that down there. So we'll undo him. There we go. Let's have a look at the magnet, and there's nothing too horrible on there for a first service. Always check the end of that. You'll see there's a little magnet on the end, and if you've got any nasty big lumps of metal on there, be aware. So that's the first side. We'll let that drain off. That's looking very nice. The book tells me there's 1.1 litres, which I thought was quite useful. Why they couldn't have made it just 1 litre. There you go. Right, okay, so we go around the other side. And we can move that along. And here we've got the oil filter, and that's an 8mm. So let's loosen him off. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Be careful, you can see there's an O-ring inside there. Don't damage that. And there you have your sealing washer and your filter. Not looking too bad. that drain away. Right, I shall clean that up and we'll put the new filter in. So,
Yep.
Okay, given the filter housing a quick clean out, new filter, always notice that the blank end goes inwards. You can't fit it otherwise. The hole is through the centre, is on the outside for the retainer. So put him in. Give the surfaces a clean. Again, it's pretty obvious which way you're going to get it round. You've got to get the alignment holes and you've got the dowels, so you can't really go wrong. If you can see, there's one dowel left in the case, one dowel there. You can see the oil way and the retainer. So just put him back in. Again, remember this is on a O-ring, so they don't have to be tightened the hell out of. You know, it's, if anything, it does more harm than good. It's nip it up so it's secure. Job done. So here we go. We've put the filter in. 1, 2. Okay, they're nipped to tight, and then that's 1, 2, 3. Pretty happy with that. Give it a clean, you don't want excess oil around. Plus as well, you don't want to miss a potential leak. So okay, let's go around the other side again. We'll replace the sump plug, check that, and then we'll fill up with oil. Again, make sure your surfaces are all clean. Everything seems okay. Yep, nothing nasty going on. Okay. My sealing aluminium washer looks okay. I was happy with that, so I'm not fitting a new one. It looked okay, and I'm pretty sure it will be. And then again, just torque it onto the crush washer. That's all you need. It's a nice accessible sump plug actually, and yeah, very visible, so really good to check if you've got any leaks or anything. But I think we're going to be looking pretty good. Okay, so that's all done. Now just to top up the oil, run it, and then we do a final check of the level. Okay, so we're now ready to put the oil in. I've had another check round. Let's bung. It's 1040 semi-synthetic minimum. So I've got this Castrol Power one. And what we do is we get that litre in straight away. And then we run it, check the level. As you can see as well, while we've been going, we've been cleaning and lubricating all the linkages, and again, just feeling everything, just, you know, getting the feel. It's as I said earlier, it's a really good way to learn your bike, just to feel your way around. You'll know if something's coming loose. You better pick it up. Plus, where you can spot for, or feel for corrosion. There we go. Okay, there's my first litre going in. Interest, I really like the muck off motorcycle protection. Be careful with it, especially when you're doing around your brakes and your wheels. You don't want to be getting it on those. Really good slippy stuff, but fantastic for protecting your shiny bits. Okay. Well, that's our first litre in. And shaky's there, yep. So let's do that up, starting up, and check carefully for any leaks. No warning lights. Lovely, and we check the sump pump as well. Okay, we'll let it run for a while, and when I'm happy, we'll just give it a quick level check. And really, that's it. That is your first service that you guys should be getting. It should be coming back clean, tidy, protected, your valves checked, your spark plug checked, oil and filter changed, your tyres checked, your brake checked, really nut and bolt checked, battery, tyres. It should all be done. And as you can see, it takes a little bit of time if you're doing it properly. If you're going at it in the workshop a bit quicker, and obviously you're not filming and fiddling around, but that's what I'd expect. I would expect as well. Quick jet wash and a clean, but some dealers do, some don't. I mean, that's subject to your agreement or whatever. or the expected service. But I hope this is useful. I'm not going to show you how to bulb clips off and put them on. I think that's all pretty obvious. But if you've got any questions, any problems, let us know, and hopefully we can help. Cheers.